Well, I just finished watching MCL40's latest Market Watch, and I can't stop laughing to myself at how dumb Yu-Gi-Oh players are. So apparently, everyone has decided to buy out a card called Mischief of the Yokai, and it's from Star Strike Blast, and it has an Ultimate Rare printing. And so people go, oh, look, cheap Ultimate Rare that counters the meta. I'm going to buy up all of these and become a millionaire. Well, the funny thing is, so I recommended Mischief of the Gnomes like months ago to you guys, and this has gone from being pennies to being a $4 card. And I bought up. I have an extra play set. I didn't buy like a ton of them, but I did buy an extra play set. So because I just knew this was going to become worth at least a little more, right? Well, Mischief of the Yokai is funny. So what Mischief of the Gnomes says is that you reduce the levels of all monsters in each player's hand by one. Even after they're summoned or set. And then additionally, you can banish this from the grave. And of course, you can use that effect the same turn, use it on field. Or if you mill this card out, you could just use this graveyard effect. So like in Tearlaments, that's crazy. You can use this graveyard effect, so on and so forth. Mischief of the Yokai reduces the level of all monsters in each player's hand by 2. Now, everyone figures, oh, well, there's an ultimate rare and it reduces them by 2 instead of 1. That's perfect in the Sprite format. Well, here's the funny thing. This is how that card actually works. And the ultimate rares are now going for like $50, and they were like $4 or $5 or something stupid. And the commons have shot up in price as well, and people are buying them out like crazy. And it's probably going to get worse because MCL40 like pointed out, like, oh, look at this crazy cool Ultimate Rare Tech card for Sprite in his latest video. Here's the thing. Mischief of the Yokai does not work against Sprite. Because it reduces the level by 2, you cannot have the level of a monster become 0. So for that reason, if you activate Mischief of the Yokai against a Sprite player, they're just going to laugh in your face and keep playing because it does literally nothing to Sprite. It doesn't make level 2s 0, it doesn't reduce them by a single level, and it does literally nothing. So don't buy Mischief of the Yokai thinking it's a counter card to Sprite and you want the ultimate rares because they look so good. Just get the common Mischief of the Gnomes. They're $4 now. I told you guys about these months ago, but if you didn't get them yet, well, now they're $4. So I just think that's hilarious. But anyway, okay. So like, I wanted to mention something as well. Like, so if you, I don't know, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to have to buy like my new meta deck, this format, this and that. Like, here's the thing. I think a lot of people get caught up into like, I have to have the newest deck every single format to play the game. And here's the thing, like, there's no reason you have to play every single format, and there's no reason you have to be playing like the bleeding edge best deck and pour thousands of dollars into it. When you buy like a brand new deck that just came out, it's gonna get reprinted, it's gonna become less valuable. You're throwing money away, you're spending money on something that is gonna become less valuable in the long run. What I see, and if you're gonna play that deck for 3 months, that's worth it. But here's what I see a lot of people do. Like, oh, I'm gonna build Sprite, and I'm gonna build Tearlaments, and I'm gonna build this, and I'm gonna build all of the new decks and spend all of my money on all of them. And then they build that, like, 3 of the 4 decks they play just collect dust for 3 months, and they don't actually play it. It's like, well, why did you need to buy that day one if you're not gonna play it? Not to mention the fact that you could just play it online for free, like on Dueling Book. And then maybe if you're going like a YCS or something, just borrow that deck from a friend or something. You don't have to spend all your money on every single new card that comes out. And this is pre-release weekend, so don't go out there and trade away all your really good cards for something you just don't need. Floowandereeze, I did pick up 100% of pre-release just because I was like, you know what? It's worth it to me to spend a little bit more just to be able to be one of the first people playing this at locals. And I traded out of my butt to get like my 2 copies of Ultra Rare M-Pen. I was trading like Ultimate Rare Abyss Dwellers and things, which looking back is like, man, I knew I was trading a card that was going to go up in value for a card that was going to tank in value. But I didn't care. I love that deck so much. I did it anyway. But you don't want to do that for like every single new deck that comes out, right? So get Mischief of the Gnomes if you're looking for a tech card against Sprite. I do think it's better than Stygian Dirge because it's not continuous. It kind of has that D-barrier aspect where they can't like destroy it with Twin. Like, they activate Twin, you just chain this a card. It doesn't matter if it leaves the field, and you can still use Engrave. And most games aren't going to go past 2 turns anyway, so that's just irrelevant. So anyway, what I want to talk about though, like, again, you don't have to like play every format. You don't have to spend money like every single thing. It's like something you could do if you're like, man, I don't want to buy like $300 for like Splight this weekend at pre-release. What you could do is just like, hey, I'm just gonna play online this format, not go to locals for a little while, and that money that you're gonna invest into like these new decks, what you could do is like buy vintage ultis or something. Buy cards that like aren't relevant to the format. Go buy, you know, Ultimate Rare Black Rose Dragon instead of your Sprite Core if you just don't want to play against it and you don't want to be part of this format. Just don't be. Just go, you know, go buy more tacos at the taco place this month instead of buying Sprite cards. You know what I mean? Like, there's no one forcing you to go spend all your money on Yu-Gi-Oh cards today at the pre-release. And the thing too, like, you know, if you're gonna buy out a card, like to counter the coming meta, like buy out the right one. Do some research. Don't just follow the trend of everyone else. Like, what was the card they bought out for Flawondereeze? Pulling the Rug. Who has ever played Pulling the Rug against Flawondereeze? It just, there's better options. It's just not a good choice. It just doesn't make sense. So anyway, don't get caught in these like trends of what everyone else is playing to counter the meta. Just use your own brain, because Yu-Gi-Oh players are dumb and they'll just follow each other off of cliffs buying out cards that are literally useless. And the funny thing too though is like that Mistress of the Yokai, it's getting bought out. People are paying attention to it the first time in a long time. It sucks and it literally does nothing in this format, but that price is still going to stay high. So those people that bought it out like originally, they're going to get rewarded even though they're completely wrong about how it works, which is hilarious. But that's just how it goes. Anyway, don't waste your money. Don't buy out dumb cards. Have a good day.